everyone, good day to all of you. I am Lorraine Sofia, and today we will learn about the types of data representation on which is a pie chart. In this video, you will learn how to identify, construct, and interpret the circle graph. Before we start our discussion, we will identify the objectives. First is to define the circle graph. Secondly is to learn about the history and origin of the circle graph. And third is to know the parts of a circle graph. And lastly is to interpret and solve the circle graph problems. The pie graph or pie chart was first invented in 1801 by Scottish writer on political economy, William Playfair. He created the first pie chart to compare geopolitical territories which were represented by circles and at times segmented slices, as seen in the Turkish Empire. A pie chart, also known as a circle graph, is a method of summarizing a set of nominal data or displaying the various values of a given variable. It is a graphical representation technique that displays data in the form of a circular graph. It is a statistic composite chart that works best with a few variables. Pie charts are frequently used to represent sample data with data points belonging to a variety of categories. Each category is represented as a slice of the pie, with the size of each slice proportional to the number of data points belonging to the category. The arc size of each slice is proportional to its contribution. A pie chart depicts the contribution of each component of the data overall situation. To summarize, pie charts typically includes the following elements: a circle or pie representing all observations, a circle segment or pie slice for each category, and optionally, labels indicating the relative or percentage or absolute size of the slices or count or summary statistics.
So now let's get to know more about the pie chart, or also known as the circle graph. So a pie chart, often known as a circle graph, is a way of summarizing a set of nominal data or illustrating the various values of a given variable. This type of graph is a circle divided into segments in this sort of chart. Each segment represents a different category. The area of each segment is proportional to the category's share of the total data set. So here are some uses of the pie chart or the circle graph. First is pie charts or circle graphs can be used to show percentages of a whole and represents percentages at a set point in time. Unlike bar graphs and line graphs, pie charts do not show changes over time. Second, a pie chart helps organize and show data as a percentage of a whole. Lastly, it enables the audience to see a data comparison at a glance, to make an immediate analysis, or to understand information quickly.
Definition of terms. Variable is the alphabet or term that represents an unknown number or unknown value or unknown quantity. Chart, sometimes known as a graph, is a graphical representation for data visualization. Segment is a line that represents a particular category. Data, a collection of facts such as numbers, words, measurements, observation. Percentage, a number or ratio that can express as a fraction of 100.
So let's continue to steps and procedures. Let's note that the pie chart is an important type of data representation. Furthermore, it contains different segments and sectors in which each segment and sector of a pie chart forms a specific portion of the total percentage. The sum of all the data is equal to 360 degrees. So the first step, step 1, is draw a circle of any radius. Since we're about to make a pie graph, it is important to know that in order for us to make a pie graph, we need to draw a circle in any radius. Additionally, there are a variety of data visualization tools available that you can use to create an easy to understand pie chart. Actually, you can start with a blank canvas and create a pie chart all in its own from scratch. It's up to you and your comfort level in design. Step 2. Pull your data. Determine what it is you're trying to visualize in your pie chart. Furthermore, gathering the data you need to visualize is key to creating a pie chart that helps your audience understand your information at a glance. Step 3. Input your data. It will be easy for you now to input your data as we have already gathered out our data in the previous steps. By then, you'll input the data you collected into your chart tool and watch your chart come to life. Step 4. Color code of pie chart. In order for your audience to understand what the different pieces of the chart mean and how to read the data, we must put the color coding to our pie chart. Aside from giving the audience the idea of what are the different pieces of the chart, it also keeps our data neat and formal. Putting different colors will help us avoid conflicts. Step 5. Customizing the chart. The next step is to customize your chart design. This includes adding your legend as well as any additional design elements. Step 6. Convert your data. So in this step, we are going to convert the data to percentage. Additionally, you have to calculate the total amount of income and use this value to calculate the percentage of income from each source. Step 7. Calculate the angle. Check to make sure that the angles add up to 360 degrees. A complete circle or a pie chart has 360 degrees. The angle for each segment is the percentage of that segment multiplied by 360 degrees. Step 8. Add labels. The chart requires a title and labels that will depend on you. And step 9, last but not the least, is to calculate your data. Of course, we have to calculate our data. And after that, you are all done and ready to share your pie chart to the class.
For sample problem number 1, draw a pie graph for the grades achieved by 50 pupils in their end-of-year exam. The following details are grade A, frequency 18, B 21, C 12, D 5, and E 4.
Let us now solve for our problem number 1. Step 1. We need to draw a circle. It could be in any radius. Step 2. We need to pull or gather our data. Here, as you can see, we have grades A to E and their respective frequency. Step 3. We will now input our data inside the circle, our pie chart. Step 4. Color code our pie chart for easy understanding and distinguishing the data. Step 5. We will now then customize the pie chart, such as adding the legend and as well as its title. Step 6. We will now convert our gathered data to percentage. As you can see, we first get the total number of the frequency and use it for calculating the percentage. For example, here, grade A's frequency is 8. We then divided it by 50 and multiplied it by 100, and we got 16%. Step 7. As we previously got the percentage, we will now get the angle. As you can see, we use another formula for getting its degrees. At first, we converted the percentage to decimal and then used the decimal for calculating the degrees. For example, here we got the percentage of 16% and converted it into 0.16 and then multiplied it by 360 degrees. We now got the final answer, which is 57.6 degrees. Step 8. Now that our computation is accurate and complete, we will now add it in our pie chart and finalize it. After that, you are done and is ready to share your pie chart.
And for the sample problem number 2, in the school there are 750 students in year 1, 420 in year 2, and 630 students in year 3. Draw a pie graph to represent the number of students in these groups.
Let us now solve for problem number 2. Step 1, we need to draw a circle. It could be in any radius. Step 2, we need to pull or gather our data. Here, as you can see, we have year 1 to 3 and their respective students. Step 3, we will now input our data inside the circle, our pie chart. Step 4, color code our pie chart for easy understanding and distinguishing the data. Step 5, we will now then customize the pie chart, such as adding the legend and as well as its title. Step 6, we will now convert our gathered data to percentage. As you can see, we first get the total number of students and use it for calculating the percentage. For example here, year 1's students are 750. We then divided it by 1,800 and multiplied it by 100. And we got 41.67%. Step 7. As we previously got the percentage, we will now then get the angle. As you can see, we use another formula for getting its degrees. At first, we converted the percentage to decimal and then used this decimal for calculating the degrees. For example here, we got the percentage of 41.67% and converted it into 0.32 and then multiplied it by 360 degrees. We now got the final answer, which is 151.2 degrees. Step 8. Now that our computation is accurate and complete, we will now add it in our pie chart and finalize it. After that, you are done and is ready to share your pie chart.
To interpret a pie chart, compare groups. When you interpret pie chart, look for the differences in the size of a slice shows the proportion of observations that are in that group. When you compare multiple pie charts, look for differences in the size of slices for the same categories in all the pie charts. These pie charts shows the 50 pupils in their end-of-year exam. Number 1. Determine the type of the functions. Type will tell you what kind of formula or relationship you're working with, the general behavior you can expect from the functions. Examples provided below. Number 2. Determine key points, maximum points, minimum points, domain, range, x-intercepts, y-intercepts, and end behavior. Which directions the ends of the graph go are all useful pieces of information toward and understanding the function.
Hi, I'm Jem and I'm going to tell you about the conclusions that I have made about the number 1 in our topic, circle graph or pie chart. In this problem, we are asked to draw a pie graph for the grades achieved by 50 pupils in their end of year exam. Therefore, grade A, which is 16%, has a degree of 57.6. Grade B, which is 42%, has a degree of 151.2. Grade C, which is 34%, has a degree of 86.4. Grade D, which is 14%, has a degree of 36. And lastly, grade E, which is 8%, has a degree of 28.8. A total of 360. In conclusion, a circle graph are used to draw the relationships between a whole and its parts. The whole might be a total number of people or items, but in this case we are talking about grades of the pupils achieved by them from their end of year exam. In other scenarios, we can use people, populations, like that. The whole might be a total number of people or items, right? And it can also be decimals that add up to 1. And that's a conclusion to number 1 problem.
Therefore, Year 1 has students of 750, which is equal to 42%. Year 2 has students of 420, which is equal to 23%. And Year 3 has students of 630, which is equal to 35%. So in conclusion, circle graphs are a visual representation of data. They are used to show the relationships between a whole and its parts.
So that is what a circle graph is all about and how to solve them. We hope that you have learned something about circle graph, and that is all for our presentation. We are the Group 2 and thank you for listening.